Alright, hey, what's going on guys? Sam here, back again with another video. And with NBA 2K20 coming to an end here in about 8 days, I believe, and then, the full release coming out in 19 days. I have it wrote up on my whiteboard right here, so I had to check for a second. So yeah, 19 days till the official game comes out, and 8 days until the prelude. There's not much time left in NBA 2K20, and I thought, you know what, let's make a video of my favorite players. I've used a lot of cards this year. I think this is the best team I've ever had out of any 2K, and just, this is the first year I've done YouTube, so consistently, and I just thought it'd be fun, to make a top 13, my favorite players throughout the year, not just, the GOAT cards now, the best players, but my favorite players that I've used throughout the whole year here. And a lot of you guys probably will know, who've been watching a long time, most of these players on this list, and some of you guys who have even been watching probably just a month or two probably will know who will be on this list. But I thought, you know what, let's make a video and, reflect and see who my favorite cards were throughout the year. So we're going to start off here at the point guard position, and I feel like this one might trick a couple of you guys because my favorite player is Matt Johnson and Larry Bird. Favorite players, I just put them together because the rivalry. But actually, my team card-wise this year, Dwayne Wade, the collector level Dwayne Wade, which I'm going to switch here to Twitter just to show you guys, we're going to kind of go back in history too when I actually got this card. I got this card back on February 28th, 2020, and little did I know, February 28th, 2020, I would be unlocking probably the best card in the game, in my opinion, probably the best card in the game in the right hands, probably for the longest amount of time. We didn't even get another Opal Dwayne Wade until July, right? End of July, where you got the duo with LeBron, and then it's pretty much the same card, if not better. So yeah, for months and months and months, I got to use this Dwayne Wade card that was just absolutely overpowered. He carried me through Unlimited, in the sweaty streets when we're trying to get the 12-0 rewards, and he carried me through all of the Spotlight games where we had to play hours, literally hundreds of hours against the CPU. And quick through STS, eventually I gave up on that and just started doing peekaboos with Dwayne Wade. And as you can see here, we played over 381 games, and that's not even counting the triple threat games because I back out of those, so it doesn't even count those. So 381 games, I believe this is like my most used card in the game, and hands down probably one of my favorites. He doesn't even make my God Squad anymore, but whenever I do use him, it's just so easy to score with this card. So Dwayne Wade definitely coming at number one for my favorite point guard. Just carried me throughout the year, and I feel like a lot of people would agree with Dwayne Wade being overpowered. Now, at number two, or I guess this isn't in order, we're just going to go by positions, but in the starting five for my favorite cards, we'll go to shooting guards, and I feel like you guys probably could guess this one because he's always been in my lineup, and it's going to be GOAT Michael Jordan. Now, this card, I'm a big MJ guy. I think he's the GOAT and stuff like that. I don't really care if you guys think LeBron is, Kareem, whoever. But Michael Jordan, he's my GOAT. And this card all year has just played so well for me. He has 98 games played, and that's not including triple threat either. But this card, easy release. It's Michael Jordan, so obviously he's going to, get crazy good animation. 65 Hall of Fame badges. I can't remember exactly when this card came out, but it came out with like the takeover packs. I think that was in April. Maybe I'm wrong, but I paid about $3.5 million, I believe, for this card, and I'm gonna be honest, I don't regret it at all because this card probably the most consistent shooting guard for me this year. And before they started juicing tendencies and stuff like that, Michael Jordan, he had crazy good defensive tendencies and obviously good dunking, and it's Michael Jordan. He gets special animations and a good jumper, and before they started juicing him, you see he has 98 on ball and 98 pass interceptions. So Michael Jordan always got the job done for me, and that was even before the duo with Pippen, where Pippen became like the best GOAT card in the game forever, or best Opal in the game because he got like 69 badges or Hall of Fame badges with the duo. But Michael Jordan coming in at my favorite shooting guard. T-Mac never really was my thing. Glenn Rice, I hate that Glenn Rice card. Maybe that'll be a video, my top 13 least favorite cards in the game. But Glenn Rice, I never really used him, so Michael Jordan definitely had the other Opal too. Michael Jordan definitely held at the number 2 position throughout most of the year for me. Now coming in at number 3. This one should be pretty obvious. You guys know, I already mentioned his name in the video, and you don't even have to be watching me for over a year to know who my favorite small forward is in the game. They have him at power forward, but we have Larry Legend here. And switching over back to Twitter here, we got Larry Legend June 11th, 2020. I was so happy when they released a GOAT card of Larry Legend. He didn't get the tendency treatment, unfortunately, like a lot of the other GOAT cards. But just like Michael Jordan, he had really good tendencies, and I don't even use Larry Bird for his defense. I mean, he was good because it's a GOAT card. But Larry Legend, one of my favorite player of all time. And then you mix that with his release, which some people don't like it. I love it. I played 73 games with him, and I legit used his card all year, including that crappy diamond one that we got in limited. And with 63 Hall of Fame badges, this Larry Legend got the job done. Probably my most consistent shooting card. Maybe not stat wise. I don't know if it'll have the percentages. They don't have the percentages unless we go in the collection. But Larry Legend, I took over 2 threes a game with him, which might be low for most people, but he was money when I needed him the most. You know, always hit the corner shots for me. And as you guys know, Larry Legend's my favorite player. That's an easy one. I don't even have to spend much time on this one. Now, coming in at number 4, this card right here might surprise you as my favorite power forward. Yeah, this card surprised me too. I was reflecting, thinking back to, what's my favorite power forward from this year, and this is a brand new card that I haven't used in previous 2Ks until this year. And my favorite card at the power forward position is this Takeover Giannis. I got this card the same time as I got Michael Jordan. I believe they paid like $2 million, maybe a little under $2 million for this card. And at first I'm like, man, I'm not even a Giannis cheeser and stuff like that. But with them implementing Quick Draw this year, Giannis with Hall of Fame Quick Draw, he might have one of the, not easiest, but for me personally, his release was just easy money. And then we're not even talking about the driving ability and the defense and everything like that. I loved using Giannis at power forward. A lot of people use him at point guard, but power forward, Giannis was my favorite power forward this year. Just insane defense. He could do everything, right? And he could shoot threes with the Hall of Fame Quick Draw. So at number 4, we're at the 4 position. We have Giannis as my favorite power forward this year. And now at center, you guys know, 6-man Sam, he loves his centers. Look at this. I have like every center in the game. That's probably my favorite position in the game, just because there's just so many, unique centers, and they've given some centers that don't get 3 balls like Shaq and stuff, and like Wilt and stuff, and Hakeem and stuff like that. They gave him, we have a GOAT, yeah, for Christ's sake. So, there's a lot of centers this year that could be my favorite, but I have to go with, if I can find the card here, my favorite center this year is the Showtime Shack. If you guys, this was a short period of time, before we got the GOAT one, and I never got the glitched one, but this Showtime Shack right here, for the short amount of time I used this card, I believe, only 33 games, I believe it was early, I think it was June when I was using this card. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe it was late May, but for those who were watching my 12-0 runs, I think this Shack helped me get, it wasn't Beasley, whoever was before, I think Rudy Gay. This Shack helped me get Rudy Gay on like the last day of the month, and this Shack, these stats are only from Unlimited, and he was just a beast. 3 rebounds a game, 1 offensive rebound, which again, maybe that seems kind of low, but this card just absolutely stuffed the stats, and even shot 50% from the 3 from me, or for me, and I don't know. This Showtime Shack was different. I have the GOAT Shack, and he's a fun card too, but I don't know. You'd think maybe it'd be Yao Ming or Kareem, or a lot of people love that Kareem, but Showtime Shack, for those who watch the streams, especially when you're going 12-0, this Showtime Shack, I was gassed up this card forever, and yeah, this Showtime Shack, just something different. Shout out to Big Sweaty the First for helping me, or showing me, leading me the way to use this Shack. He's like, yo, Sam, you should try out this Shack. I use this Shack, and most fun center I've used all year. Most fun center I've used all year. Now, getting into the bench point guards, this one, I feel like this one's pretty easy. Again, I've mentioned his name already, and he is my favorite player alongside Larry Bird. It's Magic Johnson. Every year I use Magic Johnson. Last year I think he was my most used card, and this year I love Magic Johnson. His behind the back creates so much space, just an instant bucket, and he just stuffs the stats. I don't know how the stats are going to look here because he's been coming off the bench for a while, but Magic Johnson, definitely one of my favorite point guards every year in 2K, just because the height, his strength. I love to post up a lot, especially with point guards. Before, every player had 99 everything in strength and stuff like that. Every badge in the game, you guys know, I always used to post hook cheese and do post moves and just, go to work in the paint with my point guards, and Magic Johnson was definitely the best point guard to do that with. So Magic Johnson, my second favorite point guard this year, and I thought I'd just throw this in here too, if any 2K gamer guys are watching. This is a thread talking about Magic Johnson, how he's cheap, and for those, I think I did mention this in the streams quite a bit, I did overpay for this Magic Johnson quite a bit. I paid like 2.9 million MT day one for this card, because this was the first or the second GOAT card available, like auction wise after Michael Jordan. And I thought, his price would go back up, and I didn't know how much or how many would be on the auction house. So I ended up paying 2.9 million for Magic Johnson, and he was down to like 1.2 million like the next day. So I I overpaid a lot for this card. This got a lot of likes because this is me. I'm like hiding the pain because I overpaid for Magic. But luckily, Magic Johnson is my favorite point guard of all time and one of my favorite players, so it didn't hurt too much. And the card is really good, but I just thought I'd throw that in there because that was just I overpaid quite a bit for this Magic Johnson. Now moving on to my second favorite point guard this year. This one right here, I was having trouble deciding on my favorite shooting guard this year because off the bench and just I used Michael Jordan a lot this year. I was having a hard time deciding who my favorite two is, and you guys, like I mentioned, I'm not a big T-Mac guy, so I'm gonna go ahead and put Kobe Bryant at the 2, just because I did enjoy using this card. He always played better than people always, said. People were like, oh, he's not very good, stuff like that. And this Kobe Bryant always played well for me, and it's not even just for how he played. It's mostly what this card did for my channel. I remember streaming like I stream every day, but I remember streaming like 8 hours plus, playing the game 8 hours plus a day for 9 days straight, over 120 hours for this Kobe Bryant card. And the channel in April just blew up. We gained like 3,000 subs, and it's all because of this Kobe Bryant card. So at the backup shooting guard, off the bench as my second favorite shooting guard, I have this Kobe Bryant. Rest in peace, the Mamba, and just shout out to everyone who discovered my channel through the Kobe Bryant challenges. Now, moving on to my second, well, I'm not even going to go through, I guess, small forwards now. I just have a bunch of players from the rest of the way on. It's not going to be my second favorite small forward this year. So moving on, I guess, to my 8th favorite player to use this year. Again, I'm not really going in order. This is my number 8th favorite player. So moving on, we have David Robinson. Now, this card sold for a lot of people, including me. He sold quite a bit, but throughout the year, I used him a lot, and I got this card very, very, very early on in the year before a lot of you guys even discovered my channel, but I made it my goal, and maybe I just gave a spoiler alert there for the list. Maybe I'll have to blur that out, but where is it? No, another spoiler. David Robinson right here. I got him back October 12th. 2019, so I got this card as soon as possible, legit, like less than a month into the game, or about a month into the game. I remember getting over 1,000 games for that Dominique Wilkins, just for the tokens, not even for Dominique, and I got this D-Rob ASAP, and he was like the best center in the game for the longest time. I remember Ty Dabo had that card for his qualifier run, and that card just straight carried. So David Robinson, definitely one of my favorite cards this year. He sells a lot. He's not the best center anymore in the game, but there's just a lot of history with this card, and it's David Robinson. Everyone loves David Robinson pretty much in 2K. So moving on now to the next player to add to the list. You already kind of saw the list. Hopefully I remember to blur that out. And you saw the tweet here. The next player on the list that definitely is one of my favorites is this Anthony Davis, the collector level. I got 2,900 cards this year. I do believe, again, this isn't like a flexing video, stuff like that, but I do believe I was one of the first, I want to say 10 to 25 people on PlayStation to get this card. I got this card March 13th, 2020, and I think like a week after HTB, because I don't know how HTB and Shiro got those cards so early. They legit had every card in the game, but I had to lock in for Trae Young and who else, like I already had Jokic, like Trae Young and like the Damian Lillard and stuff like that. All those crappy moments cards I had to lock in for this card. I remember the last card I had to buy for him was like 300,000. So Anthony Davis definitely belongs on this list. I've never done the collector level before until this year, and there's just a lot of history with this card. And at first I didn't like him because of his release, but at this point in the year now, I actually do really enjoy this card. Great defender, great rebounder. I love his release, and yeah, just a lot of history with this card, and definitely one of my favorite cards this year. Now, moving on to the next cards, we have four more left here in the game. So moving on, this one kind of goes alongside, let me get the card pulled up here, alongside the Kobe Bryant grind. And I know there is a GOAT Hakeem out here, but again, this Hakeem Olajuwon kind of goes alongside the Dwayne Wade, and he goes with the Kobe card as well, because this Hakeem carried me many 12-0s, I think 2 months of 12-0s at the center position. He was one of the best centers in the game for a while. A lot of people didn't like his release and his dribbles and stuff like that, but for the way I played, I love this card. He got almost 1 block every game, 1 steal a game, which is crazy. A lot of offensive rebounds, 1.3 per game, and yeah, I just love this Hakeem card. A lot of good memories, and I did get him alongside the Kobe Bryant grind. So just a lot of history there with that card. And now let's move on to the final 3 cards. So this next card here, I don't even know if I have him, because I want to make sure I get the right one. Maybe I can back out here. I think I can back out. Okay, we'll back out. My favorite card, or most iconic card for the channel, for those who've been watching all year, you guys know who this player is going to be. It's Joe Smith. And a funny thing is, a lot of you people, or a lot of you guys who are subbed, you might not know, this is where it all started. This Joe Smith card, I remember SB Live recommended I get this card, and I don't know, I love this card. I think he has the same jump shot as Chris Webber. I don't even know what jumper it is, but this card always played well for me. Early on in the year, he actually carried me to a 12-0 as well. And then later in the year, the funny story, we see the fan favorites to Joe Smith. A lot of people are like, yo, how is Joe Smith a fan favorite? Well, if we switch over here again, I'm kind of spoiling the list. If we switch over here and look up 6-Man Sam Joe, you know, it's a running joke on the channel. I said no Joe Smith card. Oh my gosh, and this is back, you know, when 2K was letting us choose, you know, spotlight cards, and just a bunch of you, not even just me, a bunch of you guys, a lot of my supporters here, a lot of you guys would literally play games. Shout Step Back Luca would play games and get hundreds and, you know, almost 100 points per game, and every week we'd tweet pictures of Joe Smith to 2K until finally they released one. So I don't know, you know, I can't prove that you know, in this channel and you guys are the reason we got a fan favorite Joe Smith card, but let's just, I don't know. I don't know. Joe Smith, I've never heard Joe Smith being a fan favorite in any other 2K, so I'd like to think that Joe Smith is in the game and has a diamond card with like a pink diamond with a diamond duo or something. I like to think that we are somewhat responsible for that. So that's kind of cool. And if you guys are newer to the channel, you might not know that. So I don't know. I think that's kind of cool that we might be responsible for that. And now moving on to the final 2 cards on the list. Where's the lineup favorites? The final 2 cards on the list, we have Joe Smith. If I can find his card here quickly. Joe Smith. I believe he's a diamond power forward that can run. Here we go. Diamond Joe Smith. And then the final 2 cards here on the list include a card that I don't have. Eddie Johnson. Let me look him up. Some of you guys probably don't know who he is, but again, to those who were watching all year, there was a time where people would always ask me, Sam, who's a good shooting guard? Who's a good small forward? And every single time I'd say this Eddie Johnson, because at the time, this Eddie Johnson had range extender, quick first step, clamps, you know, some of the best badge, quick draw, some of the best badges in the game when it comes to meta, you know, with comp play styles. So Eddie Johnson, kind of a running joke on the channel too. A lot of people forgot about that joke, but Eddie Johnson, I would always recommend him to people's lineups. And then finally, the last card here on the list kind of goes with some other cards on the list as well, or kind of goes with a pair of 2 cards, and you guys will know who he is as soon, or what those cards are, as soon as I put the card up here. Where is he? He's an Evo card. I can find him. I don't know why I'm struggling to find it. Here we go. Jeremy Lin, Andre Iguodala, and Evo Kareem. All those Evo, you know, Evo Iguodala, Evo Lin, Evo Kareem. Those guys straight carried me through triple threat throughout the year, and people would always ask me, Sam, why are you using those cards? Well, it was because the Evo glitch, and you'd play weaker opponents or sometimes even bots. So those guys straight carried me, and this Jeremy Lin was a good card too, but those cards straight carried me in triple threat when you didn't want to face sweaties. And to this day, Andre Iguodala, if I pull up his Evo stats here, to this day, I don't have him evolved all the way to Pink Diamond. Does he even go to Pink Diamond? I don't even remember. I think it's Pink Diamond. I don't have him evolved to this day because it takes 900 rebounds for some reason to get this card evolved. So we were rocking with the Ruby and Amethyst throughout the, you know, most of the year, and I can't imagine what this card would be at Pink Diamond. But yeah, that is the list, guys, of my favorite cards this year. Let me know in the comments below who your favorite card is, or, you know, your favorite memory of NBA 2K20 with my streams and videos. I know this is a longer video, so the chance of you guys watching this far is probably not too good. But if you did make it this far, let me know in the comments below. I appreciate you guys' support, and I am super excited for NBA 2K21 because if you guys don't know, we are going to be trying to do YouTube and streaming and Twitch and all this stuff full time this year. So I'm definitely excited to see where that can take our channel, and I'm ready to work my butt off to see what we can do or what I can make with this situation. You know, kind of a dream come true because of you guys. But guys, thank you so much for watching, and until next time, peace out.